Once upon a time, in a quiet village nestled between rolling hills, there lived a young woman named Amara. She was known for her kindness and creativity, but deep inside she struggled with a constant battle: negative thoughts. They whispered doubts into her mind, telling her she wasn't good enough, smart enough, or strong enough to achieve her dreams. These thoughts were like weeds, growing thicker and choking the joy out of her life. One day, while walking through the village, Amara met an old gardener named Eli. His garden was the most beautiful anyone had ever seen: vibrant flowers, lush greenery, and fruits that seemed to glow in the sunlight. Curious, Amara asked him, "How do you keep your garden so perfect?" "Mine is overrun with weeds." Eli smiled kindly and said, "Ah, the secret isn't in fighting the weeds. It's in tending to the flowers." Amara frowned. "But the weeds are the problem. Shouldn't I pull them out?" Eli shook his head. "If you focus only on the weeds, you'll spend all your time battling them and forget to nurture what truly matters. Instead, plant more flowers, water them, give them sunlight. Soon the weeds won't have room to grow." Intrigued, Amara decided to try Eli's advice. She returned to her own garden, which was a reflection of her mind, overgrown with the weeds of negativity. Instead of obsessing over the weeds, she began planting seeds of positivity. Every time a negative thought arose, "You'll never succeed, you're not good enough," she chose to ignore it. Instead, she focused on positive affirmations. "I am capable, I am growing, I am enough." At first, it wasn't easy. The weeds of doubt and fear kept sprouting, demanding her attention. But Amara remained steadfast. She watered her flowers of gratitude, hope, and self-belief. She surrounded herself with people who uplifted her, just as Eli had surrounded his garden with sunlight and care. Weeks turned into months, and something incredible began to happen. The more Amara nurtured her flowers, the less space the weeds had to grow. The negative thoughts didn't disappear entirely, but they became quieter, weaker, and easier to ignore. Her garden and her mind began to flourish. The vibrant colors of her flowers outshone the dullness of the weeds, and her heart felt lighter. One day, Amara returned to Eli's garden to thank him. "Your wisdom changed my life," she said. "I learned that I don't have to fight my negative thoughts. I just have to focus on growing the positive ones." Eli nodded, his eyes twinkling. "The mind is like a garden, Amara. You can't control every seed that blows in, but you can choose what to nurture. Remember, the flowers you tend to will always bloom brighter than the weeds." From that day on, Amara lived with a newfound sense of peace. Whenever a negative thought tried to take root, she simply turned her attention to the flowers she had planted: her dreams, her strengths, and her joy. And in doing so, she discovered that the power to transform her mind had been within her all along.